What's going on, everyone in YouTube world? Today is going to be a strange ride because Cherry is not well. She's got battery problems, so I'm riding bitch. Yeah. Alright, ready? Okay, hold it steady. Okay, I'm gonna sit very still. Hang on, someone take a photo. Do it horizontal. Yeah. Alright, you gonna be alright, baby? Okay, I'm just gonna sit very still. Even if you drop the bike, I'm still gonna stay still. This is really weird because I'm like right above your head. I'm going to crouch down so I can keep the center weight. Keep the weight down as low as I can. Okay, let's get going because people are staring. Yeah, this is getting some really weird looks from people, but okay. Oh, fuck! This is definitely a very eerie feeling. Yeah, I can see over. Yeah, I can see over Dawn's head, and yeah, there's definitely, you know, if you've been riding your own bike for a long time, and now all of a sudden you're like a pillion. It's definitely a strange feeling. But it sort of reminds me of a time back in the 80s when I was riding pillion with a young lady who was riding about on one of those Honda RS 250s. She took me all over like southeast England on it. That was her name, Caroline. Oh, it's going to definitely take a bit of getting used to. And you're just using my leg as an armrest. Thanks, baby. Yeah. So, you know, as a concept, I don't have a problem with being the passenger on a motorcycle. I mean, I started my life out as a passenger. Don't do that, baby, you're making me nervous. It's like Dawn tells me that, like, riding as a pillion on her own motorcycle when I was riding, it is a strange feeling because it's just, you know, you're used to riding your own bike, and if someone else is riding it, then it's definitely a strange feeling for anybody. Yeah, it's like you're riding your own. It's like I'm riding but I'm not. Yeah, it's like you're riding it wrong. Yeah, I have to say I am nervous, but you know, it's not that I don't trust Dawn, it's just that I've been so long as a rider and not a pillion that the only thing I can do is just tell myself, sit still and don't be scared. She's ridden for a few years, she knows what she's doing, and she's ridden with people on the back. It's just that she hasn't ridden with people on the back as heavy as me. But when, like, you know, with any bike, you know, when you start rolling, then you don't feel any of those weights. But what I'm doing is like what I was trained to do in England when I was a passenger, sort of sit close to the rider, so that the body mass is like in the same place and lean as you lean. But I'm having to tell myself that it's not instinctive, so I'm having to remind myself of that. as a passenger, and it's really teaching me as to what I'm like as a rider when I do have passengers on the back with me. Am I really being considerate for how they're feeling? Yeah, well, the actual thing to do is sit as close as possible so that the bulk of the weight is in the middle of the bike, so you've got a bit of control over it. Sitting back means that, like, when you're leaning, they're kind of like, you know, when you're leaning one way or another, they're doing something different, and that can throw you off. I know Dawn's not too worried about that, but at the same time, it was just something that I was taught to do. But then again, having said that, most motorcycles that I rode on pillion in England, they didn't have a backrest. It was literally you held on or you fell off. That's a rough looking old building, isn't it? I know that in time that I'll get so used to it that it'll be nothing. But like I said, the initial first few miles, it kind of like my heart is in my throat. My stomach's got, like, you know, weird butterflies. It's like, oh, this is weird. You know, but then again, would I feel the same way if it was like a guy riding, you know, a competent, you know, motorcyclist? I don't think, to be honest, this sounds sexist, but I don't think I'd feel as nervous if, like, Tom was riding. I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, you know, I know his experience versus your experience, which I know is really good. You've done many miles, you've done thousands of miles and everything. But I don't know, maybe it sounds chauvinistic and I really shouldn't feel that way, but I'm just sort of like, you know, as I confront those feelings and I challenge them, I sort of beat them down and, like, put them into their equality. Yeah, you know, obviously you can't help the way you feel, but knowing what you're feeling is right or wrong is what separates us from animals. I bet Tom's probably sitting there pissing himself laughing. So I'm definitely learning something that, like, you know, if someone gets on the back of the bike with me, I'm definitely going to, especially if it's their first time, I'm definitely going to, like, be a lot more cautious and a bit more gentle in how I ride. It's definitely something I'm going to sort of think about, at least at this early stage now. Okay, that turning was it was quite easy to bear. Yeah, I sort of remembered how to do it again. It's starting to come back. The whole, yeah, and just to sort of lean with you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just sort of swivel your hips so that your lower half leans on the bike, but you're kind of a bit more upright. But also to, like, try and keep in sync with the rider. How are you feeling though, Dawn? You doing all right? How's your hand? Dawn's grabbing my leg. Yeah. But it does fly in the face of one of the main reasons that we were, like, opting to ride our own motorcycles, and that if, you know, if there was an accident, at least there was, like, a chance that one person wouldn't be in it. Yeah, Dawn's saying that, like, you know, because in previous times when she used to ride passenger, like years ago, there was a lot of situations where someone came off a bike and with her on the back, so she sort of refused to ever be a passenger again until she met me. And even then, like, very sparsely. So Dawn's, yeah, eventually, like, you know, Dawn sort of realised that, you know, if you're riding with an experienced and careful rider instead of like a boy racer, then, you know, there's not going to be much of a chance of there being any accidents. Yeah, eventually you're going to start forgetting that you have someone on the back there and you're just going to be riding like normal. Yeah, Dawn likes to dance and zigzag on the bike and everything, but I'm telling her not to do that because it's just making me nervous. I mean, later on I'll probably be like, oh, just go for it, you know, enjoy it. But right now, while this is still like a fresh, new, strange experience, she's doing me the favour of not, like, you know, fidgeting or fucking around on the bike. I mean, it's subsiding, but it's a process. It subsides, and it'll probably come back a little bit when we get into town if there's any stopping and starting and strange turnings that you have to do. Dawn's telling me to stick my foot outwards a little bit because the floorboards on the passenger floorboards, you know, sort of catches her leg when she comes to a stop or when she walks off, so I've got to be conscious of that. Yeah, when she's stopping. Okay, well, the butterflies have definitely subsided. They're gone now, and there's still this tense sensation in my stomach, but that's just me being a passenger. I've got nothing to hold on to except Dawn, you know. I can grope Dawn like, yeah, baby. But who knows, one day if I get too old and fragile and too geriatric to ride, then, you know, and my only option if I wanted to go for a ride would be on the back with Dawn. She's going to have to get used to this. She'll get a sidecar. Or like a three-wheeler. Oh, why is that car driving so slowly? So the real test is if Dawn can do the tail of the dragon with me on the back. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really get out of, like, you know, you'd be in first and second gear, you wouldn't even hardly make it to third gear. Yeah, stop and start traffic going up a hill would probably be really nerve-wracking. Yeah, I was nervous about that when I first rode around on the Cherry with Rini on the back. When we were going up a hill, I was like begging everyone, can we go a different direction? But I had to face it. And but then obviously I found out that, like, Cherry, like BMW K1600s have got a hill start where if you crunch the front brake, it locks everything until you're ready to move. But this being America, though, you know, there's a lot of people who are probably looking at this video going, oh my god, I would never do that. There is no way on the face of this earth I would ever let my missus take me on the back of a motorcycle. No way. And you know, that's America. In Europe they wouldn't have a problem with this, but yeah, but this being the USA, it's like, would you do this? I don't know. I'm doing it. I would challenge any guy out there, if he's got a missus who rides and is capable of and believes she can do it, then, you know, try it. Sit on the back of a bike with her. Own your love. Learn to trust.